Well, hello everybody. It's been a minute since I did a solo backpacking trip. It's been a busy summer. I have actually gotten out quite a bit, but I only made a couple of videos of it here and there. I still have one that needs to go up later. I just kind of wanted to focus this summer on spending time with my kids, friends, whatever. So that's what I've done. But I haven't been able to get out all alone until today. So a couple of items to note as we make our way down the trail. I'm kind of taking a side trail here for a second so I could talk. This is a brand new camera. This is I'll put it up here on the screen. Not big on the names, I just need the functionality. So this is its Virgin Trip. I have no idea how this will turn out until I get back and edit the video. We are heading to Ibantik Lake. I've never been there. I've been through this trail. You'll recognize some of it if you've followed along at all. You'll see Hope Lake and Wall Lake. We'll come to that first. And we're gonna go up through the Notch Mountain up here in the Uinta Mountains of Utah. I should mention that if you're not familiar. And drop down towards Ibantik Lake. It's kind of funny because I watched a few videos that others have made at Ibantik Lake, and almost none of them said it right. In fact, one fellow YouTuber called it Ibantik all the way through his video, Ibantik Lake. So, my friends, we are heading to Pickle Chip Lake. Let's get back on the trail and make our way uphill for now. One good thing about hiking this trail is most people parked at the trailhead are going to Wall Lake to jump off the cliffs or fish, maybe even just camp there. We're going pretty far past that. I've seen one backpacker going in besides myself, and then everybody else looked like they were here for a day hike. So the trail's been pretty crowded. It's Labor Day weekend. It's August 31st today, 2025. And with that many people on the trail, it's been kind of challenging to film. I don't have very many stretches without people stepping up behind me or me catching up to them. But pretty soon, we'll be leaving them all behind. Well, most of them. I'm sure there will be others at Tickle Dip Lake. Here's our first real view. That's Reed's Peak, Bald Mountain. We are getting close to Wall Lake at this point. With that altitude, I'm feeling it. This is Wall Lake. A lot of people here. About what I expected. So That is the notch. Hope Lake is up in there. And we're gonna hike up to the notch and up over the other side. The lake is extremely busy. I'm glad I'm not camping here. Here's our sign. Trail Lake is down that way. We're not going that way. Crystal Lake is that way. That's back where we came from, down in there. And there's no sign telling us that Ibantik Lake, Hope Lake, and something else I want to share with you is this way. So I don't know if you guys will recognize this. This is where I camped last year, the year before, I can't remember, with my sons Dylan and Jude. I found the campsite to be in huge disarray. There used to be a little shack here, and it was ripped to pieces and used as firewood and thrown all over the place. But it looks pretty cleaned up now. That was our fire pit. My hammock was in those trees. Jude's tent was over here. Dylan's was over here somewhere. We had scraps with us. And we fished right down there. Didn't catch anything though. And if you're wondering about scraps, some people do here and there. He is home, safe. My older son Murphy is looking after him. Murphy and his girlfriend, keeping an eye on things. Not staying at my house, but just checking in. And they said they were going to take scraps to get a pup cone. It's like an ice cream cone for a dog, I guess. He gets pretty spoiled and he really likes Murphy, so he'll be happy to have visitors. I didn't take him on this because anything after Hope Lake might be a little too much for him. He's what, 13, 14 years old now, and I only wanted to take him on the smaller, shorter trips. So he stayed home. It's just me. This always makes me laugh. And I've taken a picture of it before and put it on Instagram. Trail that way. You don't say, considering it's the only one. Okay, so you'll be able to hear voices because the trail zigzags up the side of this to the top of that cliff. That's where Hope Lake is, where I've made a couple of videos now. I really like that lake. It's quite beautiful and peaceful. Usually no one's camped at it. But I used to walk by this in those other videos and say, there is no name for this lake. Because on Google Earth, Google Maps, whatever you use, it's just blank. So what I'm happy to tell you, thanks to a couple of viewers, 2 viewers contacted me in the comments and said, by the way, Steve, that is called Faith Lake. So I was calling it False Hope because it's not hope. And when you're hiking it the first time, you think, is this Hope Lake? And it doesn't have a name. So you hike up there and you realize that's Hope Lake. This is false hope. And that's not true. This is faith. So faith comes before hope. Isn't that quaint? All right. I'm probably not going to film myself going up that because that is one of the more strenuous parts of this hike. And you're just going to get a dirt trail with a lot of heavy breathing. So let's go to Hope Lake. Okay, that's Hope Lake. And I'm going to take a break over there where I've camped before and get some hydration and get away from all these people. Okay, this is campsite number 1 that I've stayed at and made a video. I'll link that video down below in the comments, or the description I should say. And the other place I camped is right over there in the corner. There aren't too many other places to camp on this little lake, but it sure is beautiful. This is the little bench that I've cooked on before many years ago. It's been about maybe 5 years, maybe a little less, since I've camped in this spot. And then a year or two ago, probably 2, I camped over there. Fresh out of the kitchen sink. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit here and chomp on old fatty beef stick, hydrate, and just cool down. This is the kind of the halfway point to Chicken Lip Lake. So I'm gonna hang out here, throw a charge on this so I can continue filming. So I brought a tent on this trip, not a hammock. Well, I brought a hammock, a really lightweight, my usual hammock, because I wanted something to lounge in or sit in without bringing a camp chair that's bulky and heavy. So I did bring that, but I brought my Clip Flashlight 2 tent. My son Jude has been using it through the summer, and I love that tent. So it's heavier than my hammock gear is by far, but I wanted to sleep on the ground like an animal this time, I guess. And all of the equipment I need to bring you people this video. So I have a power bank, I have 2 power banks, and I have 2 cameras, this one and my GoPro that I use for time lapse. And that weighs quite a bit. The only water I'm carrying right now is this ½ liter. I drank half of it. And then I have a water bladder to fill up once we get there. I thought I would be at camp by now. I don't know where. I lost a couple of hours. I got up here around, I want to say 11:30 a.m. and I got a parking spot pretty easily, and I was in the parking lot for maybe 10 minutes while I got myself together and headed out on the trail. And we're not that far down the trail, and I don't know why it's 2:30. That's 3 hours, so I must be stopping to film and take pictures a lot more than I think I am. But anyway, we have plenty of time. This is what's known as the Clyde Lake Loop, and it's very popular with day hikers. You start in the parking lot, you hike all the way up here, up past the notch over to Clyde Lake, and all the way back down to the parking lot. I'm not sure how many miles it is. I'll put that up here on the screen. I've never hiked it, the entire loop. I've backpacked on the Clyde Lake side. That's when I got attacked by those Boy Scouts and lost the footage. I've backpacked up here plenty, but I've never done the whole loop starting in the parking lot, and I think I want to. I think I want to camp at Ibantik Lake, and then I want to, in the morning, hike back up here to the notch and make our way back to the trailhead via the Clyde Lake Loop, and you can see a whole bunch of those lakes. Anyway, I'm gonna put this away and get this heavy pack back on. It weighs about 30 pounds this time. I know it's not ultralight, but I got plenty of food and I got plenty of camera gear to bring you fine people this video, and I'm gonna be comfortable. I also added some luxury items like my Bluetooth speaker, and that's because I downloaded a movie tonight. Tonight's movie will be No Country for Old Men. I think that's what it's called. I'm trying to watch more movies that a lot of people have seen, but I never have, and that's one of them. So I'll be watching that tonight with my Bluetooth speaker. I'll shut up, I'll drink a little more water, and we'll get back on the trail. And if you want to know, the trail continues, and we just sort of zigzag up there. That is the notch that we saw from Wall Lake. We'll go up and over that to the other side. Something new I'm seeing here at Hope Lake that I've never seen before. I'm seeing fish jump. I've been coming up to this lake for about 5 years now, and I've never seen a single fish jump on this lake. But as I've been sitting here, of course they won't do it now because I'm filming, they've been jumping. Especially right out that way. I was kind of hoping while I'm standing here filming they would actually do it so I can prove I'm not crazy. But this lake is not planted. It's just a little lake, as you can see. It's not very big. You can walk around it in a few minutes. And I've never seen any fish here. The first time I came up here, I tried to fish it and never had a bite. Never saw anything jump. So the second time, I didn't bring anything fishy with me. Speaking of which, this time I will not be fishing, and that is, I'll explain that more at camp. But yeah, I've been watching them jump, and now I'm filming and they're not jumping. Brilliant. Okay, little viewpoint. That is Wall Lake. Hope Lake is somewhere in those trees. The notch is waiting for us right along this trail. Here's the notch. Clyde Lake is right there, kind of right there. I'm not sure what that is. That's part of Wall Lake. That's Wall Lake over there. In the distance is Trial Lake. Hope Lake is way down there where we were. And that is the view on this side of the notch. We're about to cross over. Okay, that's that side. We're right in the middle of the notch. And here's the other side. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. I see a lake down there. I'm not sure if that's our destination or not. I have to look at my All Trails app. This is the valley we're going down into. The nice thing is this is downhill from here. And coming up, that's really not that bad. That's not very steep. There's a couple backpackers behind me, so you're going to hear some voices. And all the way back to the car after Clyde Lake. I don't know about going up to Clyde Lake, but all the way back to the car, the rest of the loop will be downhill. So really the worst is over. Let me get out my GPS and we will continue down into the valley towards Nickel Kick Lake. Those people are on the trail that goes down to Uinta Lake. It's right down there. That's the trail I'll be getting on after I give them some time and space. So we're not too far away. Pretty amazing, the view from the notch. That is Uinta Lake right there. I think that's how you say it. Or maybe it's Pneumonia Lake. Or Patagonia Lake. We'll go with Uinta Lake. And beyond that, that lake does not have a name on my GPS. That doesn't mean it doesn't have a name. So if anyone knows what lake that is, this is definitely Lake Uinta. That is Lake something or other. So that's what we're looking at. I believe Ibantik is on the other side of this little ridge here. Okay, my battery is flashing red, so I'm going to have to stop filming here for a minute. I didn't give it a full charge. It just said I did. So as we make our way down here, I'm gonna have to stop for maybe a half hour. It is 3:24 p.m. As long as we're at camp by, say, dinner time, I'll be happy. So I'll come back in a little bit. Okay, I had to get out the long sleeve, lightweight hoodie thing. It's more of a sun shirt because it got really cloudy while I was charging my phone. It doesn't look stormy, just cloudy. They're just blowing on by. Haven't heard any thunder, but it cooled down quite a bit when they covered the sun, and then a breeze started blowing through here. It got a little chilly. I talked to, I don't know, 4 or 5 different people that walked by here. It's a pretty clearly marked trail. Once you get down from the notch up there, it kind of becomes easy to follow. So I figured out that the trail kind of goes down through here between these two lakes and around the bend to Ibantik. I was considering camping at one of these other lakes and hiking to Ibantik just to shake things up, but so far my plan is still to go to Ibantik Lake and camp there. And I think that's where a lot of people are going, although I've seen some tents down in here. So let's head to Ibantik Lake. Back on the trail. Well, there's the view of the notch from the other side. We were all the way up there. We've come all the way down here. And very slowly heading towards Ibantik Lake. I don't think it's actually that far, but I'm still considering camping somewhere soon because I'm getting really hungry, and then taking a morning hike. down to Gigantic Lake. So this is that lake with an unknown name. And back there is the other one that I said, Diarrhea Lake or whatever it's called. The trail should cut right through here down to Uinta Lake. It's quite beautiful. So we made our way down Notch Mountain. That's this one. We were over there. And I believe right down in this little cubby is Tickle Pinch Lake. Almost there, guys. Almost there. There's our first view of Nipple Crack Lake. It's right down in these trees. You can see the tail end of it right there. I am so psyched to find a campsite, set up, and get some food. I think I might eat first and then set up camp. There she is. Prickly Pig Lake. These towering mountains all around it. Hope we can find somewhere to camp. They did. And so did they. So the first decent spot I see, I'm not going to be too picky. I've had enough hiking for one day. So this is a man-made lake. Here's the dam. There's the outlet. There's the lake. Interesting. I think what I'm going to do, instead of continuing around the lake, is I'm going to go up in these trees here, straight ahead, see what I can find. Something a little more secluded. There's your proof. Battered Chicken Lake. Looks tasty. All right. This looks good. Right here in these trees. Whew. The lake is right down there. I don't hear any creeks. So that'll be our water source. Oh yeah. Look at this. Now there is a fire ban up here because of how dry it is. The Forest Service has put in fire restrictions to only a cement and steel fire pit in a designated camp area. So we won't be having a fire tonight. My tent will go nicely here. My hammock between those trees. And we will eat over there. This is perfect. We're finally here and I am beat. Let me see what time it is. It is 5 p.m. almost. I am going to set all this down, have a small snack, and rejuvenate. And then I'm going to set up camp, and then I'm going to go get some water. So this is home for the night. Okay, all set up. Got the water filled and the camera is fully charged. So hopefully it'll get me through the night. I'm kind of out of breath. It's a very small hill going down to the lake to get water. But the elevation gets me every time. I can't catch my breath. Okay, here's camp. Got the Clip Flashlight 2 tent. Little wonky, but it'll do. Inside I have, I left it unzipped. Those are my thermals, some hot hands if it gets really cold. I probably won't need it. This is a 0-degree quilt and a Thermarest sleep pad. So that's everything that's in there. Let's keep the bugs out, shall we? Come on. Oh. One drawback to this tent that I've always had, the zippers are really good when you first get this tent, and it doesn't take long at all for things to start sticking. I was once trapped in this tent because I had zipped down the fly on either side, and neither zipper would come back up from the inside of the tent. I had to crawl out underneath the fly. It was ridiculous. I know you can wax them or whatever, and I probably will, but just a little drawback to this. It's very minor. This is a very spacious tent. It doesn't weigh very much for how big it is. It's definitely not ultralight though. And this is why it's the clip flashlight. You can put your light in there and it will diffuse the light and light up your tent at night like a soft lamp. Very cool feature. Interesting idea. My hammock, you've seen 1,000 times if you watched my videos. If you haven't, this is my hammock. It's a dream hammock. It's custom made. It belongs to my son Murphy, but he hasn't used it, so I keep using it. It's very lightweight, very durable, and I can't wait to lay down in it. And here's my pack. Osprey, a gift from my son Murphy. Something in my mouth. My puffer coat, my beanie. This is what brings you the video. 2 power banks, a GoPro. That's my glasses case. I have a citronella candle. Not just for bugs. I actually kind of just like the smell of it and also the comforting vibe you get from it. So yeah, it's an open flame, but I'm not going to burn down a forest with it. So I've got 2 canisters of fuel, and that is because they're both pretty close to empty. So put them both together and you have 1. 2 is 1, 1 is none. That's the rule. Bear spray. This is my cook pot. Inside is my camp towel, my stove, my spork, my cup, my little torch lighter, whole bunch of stuff. That's a bug net for my, a head net in case the bugs get bad, but they've been almost non-existent. This is a little notebook my son Murphy gave me, I think for Christmas or my birthday or Father's Day. It's empty. I've never written in it. It's just something to keep notes in while you're camping. Thought it was pretty cool. It's supposed to be waterproof paper or something. This is my 1200 lumen headlamp right there. Of course, my hat. Here is 1 liter of water filtered, 2 liters unfiltered, but now I don't have to make a trip to the lake. 2 more liters are over here in this bladder. I don't use the bladder in the traditional way. All I do is hang it from a tree and use the gravity to fill pots and pans and cups and wash my hands and that kind of thing. But I did filter the water. And finally we have my knife, a sit pad, a small tripod, cat hole digger, an old tent stake, and my Bluetooth speaker. And that's it. That's pretty much camp. Over here is our food. So I am gearing up towards dinner. And then we will take a walk down to the lake so you can see it. We didn't come all the way down to Sporadic Lake not to look at it. So after dinner, we'll probably hike down there. The sun is going behind that mountain, but actual sunset is still probably 3 hours away, maybe 2. So it'll cool off soon, but the sun's not going to go down and make everything dark. And that's it. I am going to hydrate a bit and lay down in my hammock and just take a breather, because I've been going since early this morning, really. So I'm going to take a rest. I'm not going to go to sleep. I'm just going to relax, decompress, feel the vibe, listen to the forest. And then we will come back and we will have dinner. Alright guys, so here's the deal with the food. Now that I've rested a little bit. This was meant to be breakfast, so I got the Mountain House blueberries and granola in there. That's one of my favorites. And I've also got some hot chocolate which might be for tonight and tomorrow morning. Some peanut butter that goes in the 2 packets of apple cinnamon oatmeal. Putting peanut butter into oatmeal is something I accidentally found on YouTube. It wasn't even a backpacking channel. It was a frugality channel, and this lady was showing how she made 2 packets of oatmeal more sustaining. So I tried it on a recent camp out with my kids, and we all liked it. It was actually quite delicious. I don't know what it tastes like in other flavors of oatmeal, but that's what there is for breakfast. And then this was supposed to be lunch. Okay, so this trip was originally supposed to be 2 nights, 3 days. And then yesterday after I got home from work, I just hit the wall and fell asleep. I thought I was going to do the 2 nights, and then I needed sleep. So I slept through the night, Saturday night. And then I got up this morning and I was already packed. And this is full of snacky stuff that was supposed to be for lunch. Earlier, out of this bag, I ate basically Gorp, good old raisins and peanuts with M&Ms in it. It was kind of funny what it called. The M&Ms were called, it's nut raisin mix with pan-coated chocolate discs. Because they can't say M&Ms, and there really weren't M&Ms. They didn't have the little M on them. So I've also got, you know, some fruit punch, some corn nuts. These are all left over from my first strike MRE. So in here I still have a chicken patty and a packet of mayonnaise, which would make an amazing sandwich if it actually had come with snack bread, but it didn't. So this is just extra food if I get extra hungry. I know I burned a lot of calories today. This hike was, how far did we hike? 6.5 miles in, and burned 724 calories, for a total of 14,455 steps. Now, those steps were pretty grueling. A lot of uphill, a lot of rocks, and a lot of it was hiking in high elevation. So, anyway, here's dinner. I have no idea what's in here. You know I like to do this. If you watch my videos, let's cut it open and see what's in it. I have no idea. This is just as much of a surprise to me as it is to you. By the way, this is menu 8, meatballs and marinara sauce. I forgot to say that. First things first. First thing out of the package is the main entree, meatballs and marinara sauce. It says what it does, and it does what it says. Chocolate chip cookie. These are really good. I've had these before. Well, you can't have everything you want in life. I got the nasty cheese spread. Cherry blueberry cobbler, so we have dessert. This is really good. I've had this. It's especially good if you warm it up. Teriyaki beef stick. That's just what I needed, more beef sticks. Accessory packet, and these are getting pretty lame. Matches, toilet paper, moist towelette, and gum. And a packet of salt. That's it. These used to have everything in it. And that's pretty weak. It's kind of disappointing. I'm not going to really need any of that stuff. Oh, by the way, earlier I was dragging pretty bad. And before I went and got the water, I needed a little energy boost. And one thing that this first strike MRE came with were these Cool Mints with caffeine. I expected them to look like Altoids, but they're much bigger than Altoids. I took one of these and freshened my breath and also suddenly had lots of energy. They're more like a Certs. So I don't know how well that will focus on that. Will it? I don't know if this camera does that. I don't think it does. It says autofocus. Anyway, or AF stands for as. Anyway, so these are really good. They have 85 milligrams of caffeine per tablet. The first ingredient is sorbitol, and the second one is caffeine. So sorbitol is not really good for you, but it is what it is. I have a caffeine source because I didn't realize I always bring those little fruity packets from Walmart of caffeinated powder that you put in water, and I got nothing. The only caffeine I have with me are those mints. So in the morning, I'm waking up to a mint to wake me up. Italian breadsticks. I won't eat these. These are nasty. I remember these from before. I've had this before, I think. These were pretty gross. Maybe they're better if you warm them up. So maybe I'll try that. Electrolyte beverage powder. This is Gatorade. I will be using this. I mean, I'm kind of dehydrated and could use the electrolytes. And you only need 12 ounces of water for it, so I won't be putting it in my bottle here. I'll put it in my cup and stir it up. And by the way, Uinta Lake doesn't taste too bad. It's pretty good. I've had lake water before, and you can taste the dirt. I don't know, even though it's filtered out, it has that flavor. This tastes very clean and spring water-esque. Spoon. Anyone ever used to watch The Tick? Spoon. All right. And then just our heating element. Now this should work. I've had problems with these in the past, and I've had to heat water and stuff my envelopes into the boiling water to heat things through. But this is a pretty new MRE. It's the inspection date was this year. In fact, it was August, and it's now August 31st. So they inspected it this month. So pretty good deal. So there's dinner. All right, let's get this started. Let's start with this heating element and whatever I can stuff in this bag to get it warm, including those breadsticks if I can. Looks like the breadsticks won't fit in there by any margin, but I might be able to, I don't know, put it up against the MRE for heat. I'm just trying to salvage any good feelings I have about these breadsticks. So I'm hoping that I still don't have the curse that I've had with these things. I can hear it. I don't know if you can. I'll put these in after this heats. This takes about 10 minutes. There we go. I need 12 ounces of water. So let's see what we got here. We're at 28. So that would be 16. I probably should have put the powder in first, but it's too late now. There we go. 16 ounces, or 12 ounces of water. Now, you may be wondering, Utah Steve, why don't you put it in this and shake it up? That's what it's for. And that's because every time I do, there's gritty stuff that never mixes in. But if I put it in a cup of water, I can stir it until it mixes in. And what is that? Yeah, that's Gatorade, all right. These are really thick, delicious cookies. There you go. Chocolate chip. Want some? Really good cookie. I'm going to eat this, drink the Gatorade, and we'll come back for the main entree. All right, well, here's the real test. Did it really heat? Feels very warm. Not on this side. Let's take it out. Well, this is the cobbler that got heated through. So we will continue heating through the main entree. I always joke about this stuff because it looks like throw up. But I'll tell you what, it tastes a lot better than throw up. There it is. Want some? There's some good crusty pie stuff down in the bottom. This is very hot. Very hot. Let's see. I think this will do. It's probably lukewarm. I'm going to put these breadsticks in here. I'm going to make them fit. But the heating element is still quite warm. And I'm going to make them. And we will leave those getting warm. Tear into this. There you go. Want some? Tastes like the SpaghettiOs meatballs. They're okay. They're not bad. They're good enough. This is barely warm anymore. Let's try these breadsticks. I don't have high hopes. And they break off like this. They're a little better warm. Maybe it's because I ate them cold last time. I should have saved some of the marinara sauce to dip this in. I think that's the idea. But they're very, very dry. I'm going to clean up dinner. I didn't eat the cheese or the beef stick. Just don't need that. Cheese is gross. I already had plenty of beef sticks today. That's what she said. We're going to go down to the lake and do some exploring as soon as I can get a decent charge on this. Trying to explain how towering that mountain is futile. Some things just don't translate on video or in pictures. You have to be here. Really appreciate it. I was thinking about that song. The bear went over the mountain to see what he could see. And guess what he saw? The other side of the mountain. And that song makes it sound so pathetic. It's all that he could see. The bear went over the mountain to see what he could see. That's what we did. I've never seen this side of Notch Mountain. So, that bear must have had a pretty good day. I got the bear bag in the tree. Didn't bother to film it. But it's up there. I'll show you if it doesn't get too dark. I didn't get it far enough from the tree trunk, I don't think, but it'll do. So there's the little dam. So this is usually a lot more full, but it is getting to be that time of year when they start draining the water. Dusk on Giblet Sniff Lake. Fish are jumping. There are people camping over there and over there, and the people who camped right by the water inlet right over there. And that's about it. Incredible. There aren't very many bugs here. They would have gone for my bait easily. But because of the fire ban, I'm not really a catch and release kind of guy. I'm more of a hook 'em and cook 'em. So, wow, that guy was right there. So I've decided not to bring fishing gear. And honestly, I think I brought about everything I can handle. My pack was definitely heavier than it needed to be. I will mostly use all of the gear I brought, but I probably could have survived without the hammock. It's just more of a comfort item. Sun's gone down. Cloudy. I was finally able to get a signal on the weather radio, and it just said it's supposed to be mostly clear tonight. It should be good. It'd be nice to see the stars, but I don't know if we will. It's 8 p.m., 8:06. When we wake up tomorrow, it'll be September. And then you can wake me up when September ends. If you know, you know. Well, there's not a whole lot to see, and there's a plane flying over because, you know, they have to do that in my videos, no matter where I go. So I'm going to go back to camp. I'll show you where I hung the bear bag, and we'll say goodnight to Liver Lip Lake. Well, here's camp. I've cleaned all of the food up. Need to filter another liter of water. Here's the fire pit that will remain cold tonight. Nobody else on the lake has lit a fire, so I'm grateful that they're listening. There's our bear bag. It's about 15 feet up. Like I said, it should be further out from that tree trunk, but it's probably the best I could do. Kept throwing it and getting it tangled. And I ran it around this tree down to here, which you probably can't see. I'm going to actually hang out in the hammock, light the candle, just enjoy the solitude for a while before I settle into the tent, and then I'll come back and talk to you a little bit more before the day is over. Well, I'm in the tent. It's time for bed. Got the diffuser going. It's lighting up the tent nicely. I got a good charge on my phone too, so I can watch No Country for Old Men and let you know how that goes. See what I think of it. Don't even know the premise of the movie. I'm just kind of on a thing lately to watch things that I've heard of, people have watched or talked about, and I've never seen. Not everything. Some things just don't interest me, but this kind of did. It kind of caught my attention for some reason. So I'm going to settle in, do a little bit of writing in my little camping notebook, and put all this stuff on a charger. I need to put some more air in my air mattress. And that'll be it for tonight. When we wake up in the morning, it will be September. It is 9 p.m. right now, and I plan on getting up pretty early to start the hike out because it's going to be a long one, I've mentioned. Have breakfast, get packed up, and head out. So that's it. Thanks for joining me today on this journey. Look for a review of this camera. I've left those parts of this video out so that I can put them in one video and let you know my thoughts on this little camera. So I will see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning. What an interesting night. First of all, I loved No Country for Old Men. I I won't give away any spoilers. I know it's been around a long time, but I don't want to be that guy. But what's with the ending? It totally left me hanging. It didn't really resolve anything, but it was well worth the watch. It was a really good movie. I just have no idea. Like at the end of the movie, I felt like it was like reading a book without an end to it and no sequel. It's just like, okay, and that's it, huh? Credits rolled. Anyway, I would give it 4 out of 5 stars. And the only reason I give it 4 is because of the ending. It was one of those movies. I mean, Woody Harrelson was in it, not for very long. That surprised me. Tommy Lee Jones, Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin? I think so. Brolin. I knew his dad from the show Hotel that my mom used to watch. I think he's married to Barbara Streisand, but I knew Josh Brolin as the kid from the Goonies, and he's in the Californians on Saturday Night Live. He plays a Californian cancer doctor. It's pretty funny. It sounds not funny, but it is funny. You should check it out. And there were a couple times in the movie when I was imagining him as one of the Californians, and it made me laugh a little bit. Excellent movie, but what's with the ending? Anyway, I slept really well. I learned some things about the gear I brought. I have a small leak in my pillow, and so about every hour, my head would slowly sink to the bottom of the mat, and I would be sleeping like this. So what I did is I did not need my thermals. Another thing I learned, it didn't get as cold as I thought. It's probably in the upper 40s right now, and I'm not near the water, which made me warmer. So I took my thermals and stacked them on top of my pillow, and it was quite comfortable. Actually, it was a good idea, but I didn't need to bring them. They were extra weight. They do weigh a bit and bulk, and so I didn't need them. But they came in handy anyway. So I have to find the hole in the pillow, or frankly, just get another pillow. And then my mat. I've never used that Thermarest mat. It kept running out of air about every hour and a half. And I would have to basically, it would wake me up because my hip would be digging into the dirt. So about every hour to hour and a half, I woke up, blew up the air pad and the pillow, and then went back very warmly and comfortably to sleep. Now, speaking of warmth, I was toasty all night. I was extremely comfortable. Very warm, extremely warm. At one point in the night, I took the beanie off because I was fine without it, and I had good airflow, so there wasn't condensation at all. A lot of times on this tent there is. And this is one of the few outings where there just wasn't. I was comfortable and warm. So blowing things up in the middle of the night, at least it wasn't my girlfriend that I was blowing up. So there's that. Let's talk about this candle. This was really bizarre. You may not think so, but I know so. So as you can see, I had it near the tent. It was like this, and then when I went to bed, when I zipped everything up, I scooted it closer to the tent so that it wasn't burning anything. So you can see that it's down to the tin. This has been burning since last night when I went to bed at, 9 p.m.? I lit it for comfort's sake. There really aren't any bugs up here right now. I think we're past the bug season. It's been burning ever since with that much wax. That's what it's looked like when I lit it. Just that wick is still burning. There's some wax in the bottom. This is the most bizarre thing, and what makes it even weirder is just the fact that I took that candle out a couple of weekends ago with my kids. Maybe it's been more like 3 now. But I took that candle with, and I lit it 50 freaking times. There was no breeze or anything like that. I could not get that wick to stay lit, and I thought, well, it's had it. It's not going to work anymore. I'm going to have to get a new one. I'm telling you guys, that candle should not still be burning. And I couldn't get it to burn just a couple weekends ago at all. And I lit it once with my little torch. It's been going for, what time is it? It's 7:04. It's been going for about 10 hours. 10 freaking hours on almost no wax. All right, it's time to get the bear bag down and have some breakfast. Little mountain house, granola with blueberries. 500 calories. And some pre-measured cocoa. And some caffeinated breath mints. Pretty handy. Got to take that out. This is basically cold cereal for breakfast with a warm drink. That's nice. There's a breeze coming through, morning breeze, and makes it a little cooler. This helps. Want some? It has blue milk. Well, it's more purple. We use this just in time. It expires in November. Of 2054. There's all my garbage. Time to wash the dishes. I cannot believe that is still burning. That's unreal. There's no real wax in there at all. It's almost 8 a.m. It's been going 11 hours. Well, at this point, guys, it's time to clean up camp, pack up, head out. The sun is, we're still in the shadows, but it's hitting the mountains over there. Can you see it? It's hitting the Notch Mountain itself right here. I've got my work cut out for me. So let's get this done. Well, that is it. Everything is neatly tucked away. No more stuff on the logs or the ground. We're over there by the fire pit. Hammock is down. Tent is gone. But look at this. There's literally no wax left in this thing. It just keeps burning. It's beautiful. There's some bugs. It's time to extinguish our eternal flame that has been burning. It is 9 a.m. It has been burning for literally, ouch, 12 hours solid with very little wax. And no explanation about why I couldn't keep it lit a couple of weeks ago. And now it won't stop burning. I hope it stopped burning with the lid on. I gotta let it cool down. That one's going in my china cabinet at home. That has a special meaning to me that I haven't mentioned on camera. It means something to me, and yeah, I don't want to go into it. It's too personal, but yeah, it's significant. Every time I look at that, I want to remember this outing and how it kept burning. I did leave one other thing over here. Some of you will yell at me for it, but as I was sitting here waiting for this camera to charge, I was inundated with little chipmunks. I think this is a chipmunk tearing up a pine cone. Sorry, I bumped the tripod. But one of them was like on this tree right here, just poking his little head around, staring at me. Got anything to eat, man? Guess what? There's one thing in my MRE kit that I knew I would never eat. I used to eat them when I was a kid. Not so much anymore. Those are corn nuts. And one of the little guys was running all over the fire pit looking for scraps. So I opened them and dumped them. I know you're not supposed to feed them. I know it attracts animals. It makes it difficult for the next campers. As far as wildlife goes, I have not seen anything but chipmunks and birds. This is so incredible. And with that, I'm going to put this back on. It's much lighter than it was coming in, thank goodness. Tried to pack it a little better so it was more balanced. And we will head up the trail. So we've got to go up through there into the notch and over. I'm not going to talk all the way through it. I'm probably just going to film some of the scenery, considering my battery life, and put my usual outro music over it. And speaking of my usual outro, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Hope that you enjoyed this adventure as much as I did. Do yourselves a favor, guys. Get off the couch. Get outside in nature and have yourselves an adventure. The views are spectacular. If you can't get off the couch or out of the house for whatever reason, come along with me. I could use the company. We will see you in the next adventure. Take care, guys. Say goodbye to Chicken Nipple Piglet Scratch Lake. We are heading to Ibantik Lake, Pickle Chip Lake, Tickle Dip Lake, Chicken Lip Lake, Pedantic Lake, Nickel Kick Lake, Mylanta Lake, Pneumonia Lake, Patagonia Lake, Lake something or other, Atlantic Lake, Titanic Lake, Semantic Lake, Gigantic Lake, Diarrhea Lake, Tickle Pinch Lake, Nipple Crack Lake, Prickly Pig Lake, Battered Chicken Lake, Sporadic Lake, Shibidoo Lake, Giblet Sniff Lake, Liver Lip Lake, Chicken Nipple Piglet Scratch Lake,